Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur Experience podcast, where I bring all the dope people in the Bay Area and from all over to introduce them to you. You're here. Again, you're not a hater, and because you're not a hater, that means you're going to like and subscribe this video and share it out, or you already are, one of the other, but just make sure you're subscribed to this channel because you need to see more dope episodes like this. And I have a very special guest. And I'm actually happy to have her here because I got some questions that I need to know for myself, okay? Because I'm trying to get outside in these streets. So, can you introduce yourself to the people? Let the people know who you are.
I am Ni Ema Baptista, and I am the CEO and founder of Ni Ema B Consulting.
Ni Ema B Consulting. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. How you feeling?
I feel good.
You feel good.
Excited.
That is good. So tell me, who is Ni Ema?
Ni Ema, the personal, or the brand, the businesswoman, or
let's go personal first, so that people can know you before we start talking about the brand.
You know, telling my story and who I am, it kind of resonates. You know, I have to go deep. So Ni Ema is from East Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah.
East Oakland. We're at in East Oakland.
Yeah, I am from East Oakland.
All right, and we're back. Listen, okay, I'm sorry, you guys. You probably don't know this, but we got a tornado warning out here in California, and that's just real weird. And all the power just went out. And that has never happened. And it was just she was going in, and it was just boom, power out. So we're back. You don't know it, but we've been going for 15, 20 minutes. We done went outside, ran a mile, took a shot, all the good stuff. But now we're back. So we left off with you explaining or talking about you, right? I think it's important for the people to know who you are, who they're watching. And the last thing you were saying was that you're from East Oakland. Where in East Oakland are you from? I'm from 92nd.
Are you? I'm from DAG. 98.
Oh, you from DAG?
I'm from DAG.
Okay,
yeah, a small
okay.
little. It's over the ramp from Brookfield,
Yep.
and people don't know DAG for a long time. It was a field. It was filled in very few houses, but it was no black families in there. So my family and a couple other people were the first black families to purchase a home in that neighborhood. And DAG is actually short for Dag Hamashaw. And there used to be a school in there. It was once a very thriving neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm from 92nd, but my granny stayed in Brookfield. And so we used to walk over the ramp, go through DAG to go to the movie theaters. Yeah. When it was the Century, the Dome over there.
Where
where
Walmart is.
That's really Stokeland right there.
Remember the castle?
I do remember the castle. I do remember the castle. Yes. Dang, that's crazy. Okay.
Memories.
So what started you on this journey that you're on? Before I ask that question, tell people what it is that you do, so when you're telling them how you started, they'll have a better understanding.
So I am in public relations, media relations, and digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been in. So I've been in marketing and PR for about 20 years.
Okay.
And I've helped brands get awareness by telling their stories and thrive in the competitive market, right? And major corporations and brands. And so now I'm taking my expertise to help everyone, get involved in business, know what public relations is, know what media relations is, and how much of a tool it is to help your business thrive.
Yeah. You said you've been in it for 20 years, and I just want to say, you're evident that, don't crack. So it's just looking at you, it's just 20. You don't even look like you're old enough to be doing anything for 20 years.
I have a 20-year-old.
What?
Yes. I have a daughter who's 20, who's in college. I do.
Wow, that's dope. I would have never expected that.
Yeah, I'm 41.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Like I didn't think that.
Come on, Black Don't Crack.
Black Don't Crack. So I'm 38. So I definitely was thinking like you're younger than me. So you
Come on,
you doing
look,
your
let's say it
thing.
again.
You doing your thing. So what started you on this journey? Like, how did you get into this?
So I've always loved people.
Okay.
Right? From when I was younger. My house growing up was the house that all the kids,
Everybody came
where all
to.
the bikes were,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or and I was the only girl in my neighborhood. Well, not the only girl in my neighborhood, but, you know, amongst my friends in my age group. And so I just always loved people. And from early on, God always told me that whatever I do, it was going to do with people and communicating. Like I love talking to people, right?
Yeah.
I'm an intro extrovert, right?
Okay.
I'm one of those people I'll watch before I, go and open up. But once I open up, I'm open. But I've never been afraid to speak. Like I used to speak in the Oratorical Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke at my high school graduation. So I spoke during Black History Month, like speeches. I've always loved words, language.
Yeah. For sure.
And so I've always known, no matter what I did, that it needed to be with people.
Okay.
And fun.
Definitely gotta have that fun.
Yeah. Like I remember growing up, saying, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a lawyer, but that was something that was being pushed on me.
Yeah, for sure.
And that back in the day, people wouldn't tell you, oh, going into marketing or going to public relations is something that's going to get you money or that you're going to be respected for.
Yeah.
And so, although I always wanted to do something in that room, I was like, oh, I need to be a doctor, because I love, like, I'm the mother of my friends and the mother of just a group. So I love helping people. But I always knew I was too sensitive and too caring to go into that because being a doctor, they face some major obstacles all the time. You have to face death. You have to face sickness. And I'm too soft for that. I'm not, I'll be a ball of mess. So I was like, no. So when I was 18, I got a job with Clear Channel, which is now iHeartRadio. And I got it as a gopher. And people don't go for, I was the one going to get the food, picking up artists from the airport, doing all the stuff. You almost said the S word, but I'm trying to be professional.
Listen. Can we can cuss.
I know we were going to bluff it out.
Down,
yeah. So I was the person going and fetching, being a gopher, doing golf, being the caddy. But I made some major connections with that. Like I've met Green Day and went and picked them up from the airport. I've met Metallica, all these things. And so when I got into that, I said, I like the entertainment industry. And I've always been a fan of music. Like, believe it or not, I like rock and roll more than I like rap music.
Really?
No pun, but like Alanis Morissette, the Cranberries,
I don't even know who that is.
Right. Things like that. And so when I started doing that, I said, this is it for me.
Okay.
I want to do something. And I love production because I've been a director of operation logistics behind the scene, worked on the Wu-Tang and Nas concert when it came to Oakland. So I love building things.
Yeah.
I like taking people's vision and bringing it to life. Into fruition. And so from there, I was like, I didn't know I was going to go into PR, but I was like, okay, because when I was in college, I was indecisive. I changed my major several times. Yeah. Then I took a major break until I figured out what it was I wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, let me go on and get communications because that can be used for anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you get this job at Clear Channel. Mm-hmm. You are working with people. You're doing these tasks, gophers, and you just like, I like this.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. And when did you decide to leave and go out on your own?
So what year is this? Child, look, my age is showing, y'all. So when did the pandemic happen?
19?
2019. January 2019, because I'm not going to name the company, but I was working for a company that helped geriatric victims of violent crime.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still along with like marketing and PR and just working with the DA and, things like that. And I just couldn't, I said just the stories again because it triggered my childhood. Like a lot of people don't know, but I tell my story all the time. I grew up in foster care.
Okay.
And I experienced some unimaginable things. And so that also drove me to want to help people, hence been pressured to kind of want to be a doctor, but then, just my love for helping. And so working there and seeing certain things, I was like, within the nonprofit sector and kind of like what people do, I was like, oh, no. But then also the stories of what's happening, I said, I can't do it. And so I've always been a bit of a rebel.
Okay.
And speaking up, like I'm the person that will stand up for the underdog. Like I remember growing up in DAG having fights, believe it or not, I'm fighting boys, but fighting girls that's like twice my size, right? Because somebody was afraid to speak up for themselves. So that got me in a lot of trouble in that company that I was working for and put a target on my back. But hence here, here come my East Oakland. I ain't taking shit from nobody. I don't care.
Yeah.
You ain't my boss because I don't think nobody is the boss of me. Like, I don't use that word. It is like nails on a chalkboard for me. You can be an executive, you can be a management, but nobody's my boss. Okay. And so it kind of started getting towards this thing. And then I was the only melanated person too. So, a lot of times they get that, oh, you're hard to deal with, or especially being a Black woman, you're being aggressive. For sure. And for me, I'm like, oh, baby, don't take where I'm from as far as me not being professional or uneducated. So I ended up getting in some trouble and got suspended, which I wasn't supposed to be suspended. Like it was a whole thing with that. And I knew my rights. And so when that happened and while I'm on suspension, I said, you know what? They're paying me for my expertise and my services, but they're paying me a smidget of what I'm worth. Because what companies do, and this is nothing against people who work in the 9-to-5, these companies take what you're worth and what your value, and they give you a fraction of that.
Fraction of it, of course.
Right? So I said, I'm a bet on myself because I've always been an entrepreneur. Like I had a magazine. You named it, I tried it, selling candles, and because I always loved being crafty. And I was like, Ni Ema, I don't ever want to put myself in a position to where someone can control my income and me feeding my family. Yeah. So I said, bet on yourself. Okay. So that's how I got started in entrepreneurship, like fully. I've been full-time since January 2019, but just coming up with different what business. So it's been a back and forth. I've officially been in business for myself. It'll be 2 years in January. Okay. Where I really got started, like landing out and just having it going. But since January 2019, yeah.
Okay. I like that. Okay. So January 2019, you decided to step out on your own, be an entrepreneur. And I hear this term a lot, right? Not that I hear it a lot, but it's just like in the marketing realm or dealing with different people, I hear like about publicists. But I just like, how can a publicist help me? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't fully know what a publicist do for like an entrepreneur or a celebrity or someone that's trying to get out there, right? And so let's use me for an example, okay? You're watching this. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm like, I got this podcast. I'm doing these events. I have this community. Like I am outside. I'm getting paid to speak. I'm doing all of this kind of stuff. And it's just like, I want to do more. How can I work with you and how can you help me?
Specifically, like we're talking about your brand.
I'm using me as an example because someone can be watching this and they can be feeling the same way because people want to be seen more,
Mhm.
right? People
Mhm.
want to be acknowledged more. People want to be known more. And so if someone is watching this and they hear you and they was like, maybe I need to, hire her or work with her. So yes, using me as an example, um, like, all right, let's talk. This is my consultation.
Right.
It's,
So a publicist is your brand representative,
okay.
right? We get you in the rooms that you might not have access to or that you might not have time to get to. So we spread your brand around. So one, everybody's brand is different. So we customized your strategic plan specifically for your business. But the goal for your publicist is to get your brand out there, bring the brand awareness and build your reputation
For sure.
to the public. We get you seen. So
Okay. So you get me seen and and so I just seen that you were just where were you just at? You were just I seen you just like was it the Essence? You was just somewhere.
I was
Right.
a couple places.
You was a couple places, but I just seen you was like dressed up. You were like I think you had on like a red dress
Yes.
and you were where was that?
That was at Ebony Magazines.
Ebony Magazines.
Their
Okay.
Power 100 Gala.
So you my publicist, you can get
Right.
me into rooms like that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
So a publicist, it's important. So a lot of people might look at my social media right now and not see me talking as much as far as like key points. But I mean, I am doing that, but you'll hear me talk about like being in the rooms, right?
Yeah.
And me having to be in the rooms because as a publicist, it's important for me to build out my network to build your net worth and your network,
For sure.
right? So I need to be in the rooms of those people that are important and just people in general so they'll know me and that way develop my relationships with these people so then I can take you and pitch you to them. So it's very important that your publicist is everywhere because we're building out our network because you can't do much if your network is small. But if your network is small and mighty, then that's different because you never know who knows who, right?
Yeah.
And I started small. And what happened is been in the rooms, introducing myself to people, then those people talking about me to other people and inviting me. So your publicist needs to be out there hitting the streets
For sure.
and everywhere and not limit themselves to where they go,
Yeah. Okay. I get that. I like that. And so, is it expensive to have a publicist?
So I'm not going to drop my prices here, but it
Okay.
is not cheap because as a publicist, our clock doesn't stop. I can't say, I can tell you my office hours are 9 to 5, right? But if I get a call and it goes and it's something that's important to my client's brand or an opportunity and it's 3:00 in the morning, if I don't pick up that call, you just never know what you'll miss. So I could be
sure.
like, oh, I'm not going to answer it because it's outside my hours, but then I just missed a major opportunity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it ain't, for me, it's not cheap because I've invested in myself. I've invested in my education. I've invested into going to events. I've invested into my look and my brand because if I'm looking a mess, no one's going to
No
take
one
me
wanna work with
serious
you.
no matter how
Yeah.
much knowledge I know, right?
For sure.
So I need to see a ROI on my stuff too. Plus, for me, I can't speak for nobody. I go above and beyond because I love what I do.
Yeah.
And I love people. And first of all money ain't good money. So I just don't take on anyone to be my client. So if I'm taking on you on that, I'm going to make sure you win.
For sure.
So it can be pretty costly, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Because a lot of people don't realize it's not about just putting you in the room. It's about protecting your name,
Right.
protecting your personal brand, protecting you. Because there's a lot of stuff happening in the industries, if you know what I mean. I don't want to talk about it with a lot of high profile people.
Yeah.
And their publicist is going to have to do damage control to
sure.
now paint them into a positive light in the public. So crisis management. So a publicist is definitely worth it if you want to take your brand
Take it to the next
serious.
level. Is it okay? I kind of want to stick in this realm
Okay.
just for a little bit.
It's all good.
Is it a one-time fee? Is it a monthly thing? Is it a off of like the thing? So let's say you my I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the realm of knowing the difference of like publicist, agent, manager. It's just a lot, and it's kind of the same but similar for the unknown. So like let's say I'm ignorant
Okay.
to the world of that, right? And so I don't fully know the difference of everything. And so it's just like you're getting me in rooms, you're getting me places, are you getting me deals and then you get a percentage of that deal, or am I just paying you monthly and whatever deal you give me, just stay with me? Like how does that work?
So an agent goes out and gets you, also goes and like they are responsible for going and getting you a job.
Yeah.
There's their job to sit up because they get paid in a percentage off of what it is you make. So they're solely out, to make sure they
Going
get you
after
work, right?
the work.
For me, I work hand in hand with that because it's about managing your brand and also getting you deals, getting you endorsements, deals, and sponsors, all that. It's one and the same. So I do per project. You can pay me per hour. You can retain me. You can customize it. The best, it's like so for me, I say the best thing is to retain me because just like an attorney, you never know when you're going to do it, right? And you never know how much. So it can be costly to do per project and can be costly to do per hour. Because then, I'll set a minimum like, hey,
Right.
you have to, you can get me per hour, but you have to get me for, 40 hours or however. I'm just throwing it out there versus you have me for a month and I'm at your call. They can call like this.
For sure. Okay.
So it's all depending on that publicist.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, but I'm open to all of it.
Okay. I like that. That's good to know because I think I made a comment on one of your posts one day and I'm like, I need a publicist. So I went to Atlanta. I like David Shands, and I went to Atlanta and he was interviewing. I said it on an interview and he was interviewing this lady and she was a publicist. I can't think of her. But she was just talking about that, and she was just saying, she was like $4,500 to just start working with me,
right.
And then we go off of whatever. And I was thinking like, I could do that, but then it was also like, damn, that's kind of expensive because then that's just the start, and then if we got to keep it up, and I'm just, as an entrepreneur, we start adding up the cost of stuff and be like, dang, and then like you said, we always want an ROI on stuff, but then I also believe in everything is not a instant return. Right. And I think as entrepreneurs, especially if we're in the starting stage or struggling stage, everybody doesn't understand the longevity of things and everything isn't an instant ROI. Right. So even for me, as like I go out and create content for people and people be like, it's kind of expensive, or how do I afford that every month, or like what's my return on it? And it was just like, well, you don't post on Instagram at all, and now I'm coming in here to help build your brand, and you've posted once in the last 2 months, and it's like you're not going to hire me, and I'm going to start posting this content for you, and your business is going to change overnight. It's like we got to build it up, so it's like
be proactive.
So if it's like if I'm charging you $3,000 to come out and shoot all of this content and edit it and give it to you, you're not about to make $5-6 grand off the 3, and that's how people think
Can we talk about it? Right?
People think about it like that,
please?
And that's not it. And it's just like, no,
Instant
we're
return.
building.
Right.
We have to build, and we got to understand the longevity.
Right. The problem is too that we're in this generation of instant gratification, instant results.
Sure.
People want to run before they learn how to crawl. People want to run before they learn how to hold their neck up.
They want to start at the finish line.
Yeah. Oh, can you say that again?
Yeah, they trying to start at the finish line, right?
Right.
It's like, and that's just like so impossible.
It's unrealistic.
It's not real.
And I actually deal with it all the time. Like I'll tell people I need a minimum of 6 months.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take me 90 days to really figure you out. To watch you, because I need to watch you. We're going to start with, I'm going to build a plan for you, but we're going to have to, watch it grow. I'll come up with it. We have to implement it, but I also need you to be proactive in it. Yeah. So I need to see how you work, what you do, what's going wrong. And by 6 months, we should start seeing some real momentum.
Yeah.
But the thing is, people will be like, well, in 30 days, I need this. Like, I've had clients to be like, well, this didn't happen in 30 days. I said, you just hired me 30 days ago.
Right.
And we built out this plan, but you're also not being proactive. And also, you have no North Star. You don't know what your brand is. You have no business plan. You don't know you don't even know what your brand is. So I have to start from scratch.
Yeah,
and that's going to take time.
For sure.
And so it can be very frustrating for people to think, because we're all in the same, for you to think you're a magician. They think we're magicians.
Yeah. It's like, I always compare things to fitness in our body, right? You've been eating bad for 20 years, and then you think that in 60 days or even 30 days that your body's about to you about to get a six-pack. Like, I've been unhealthy and gained this belly over 38 years. And it's like, I know I'm not about to get a six-pack in 30 days. And so it's just like, it's a work, right? We have to put in the work to get the results, and it don't happen overnight. And because of social media, a lot of people see people's like midpoint, starting end journey, or like starting at the finish line. They see the results, and so their mind is like, oh, this person is an overnight success. I want to be like that. But it's like, no, this person's been working for 10 years, right? And they just now getting hit. And so I think just for me personally, what I experienced is that people just don't understand the longevity, don't understand the work, and just want instant results. And it's like, this shit don't work that way.
It doesn't. Like, for me, it took me 2 decades plus to get where I'm at now. And so a lot of people are seeing my results from never giving up, but they don't see the nights where I cried. They don't see the nights where I didn't have enough money to sit up there and maybe feed myself. They don't see how my bank account was thousands of dollars negative. They don't see the struggles.
Yeah.
They don't see me falling down and getting back up, having to call my friends to talk life back into me.
Yeah.
Or having these conversations with God, or millions of doors slamming my face. I've had companies and people tell me I would never be nothing.
Yeah.
That there's no future in me.
Yeah.
And having to sit there and take that and be like, and prove everyone wrong, do it for me. And so they see now the parties, getting invited to, but that's me investing in myself, in my education, believing in myself, getting in the rooms, but knowing that I can sit up there and do it, starting and stopping, starting this business, or having to come back and redefine my business. Like, for me, Ni Ema Be Consulting, I do digital marketing, public PR, media relations, and tech, right? But I'm drifting more towards public relations and media relations because I love people. I'll still do the digital, marketing. You hire me, I'll do it. I also have my agents or consultants that will do it, right? But I found, while fine-tuning and redefining my brand, that I like the PR side of it more.
For sure.
I'll still do this, but if you want me to do it, you're going to have a good check, because with marketing, people think it happens like this, and they call your phone, they think you don't have a life, and people don't understand how time consuming and dedicated you have to be to building their brand and stopping and starting, and people coming in while you're building it. And I want to change it. So you got to have a bag to bring me in, but I'll work with everybody. I'll do per project, I'll do hourly, but I love communication.
Yeah. Yeah. I was being a little nosy.
Come on, being nosy.
And I was like, so I'll just be transparent.
Tell me.
So in starting this podcast, and shout out to Cam.
Big shout out, Cam.
We were having a conversation. So Cam has become my accountability partner / coach.
Yeah.
And we were having a conversation because I'm like, okay, I want to build this podcast out, but I'm like, I don't want preset questions. Like, people would be like, you ask me questions, send it to me, this. And I'm just like, I don't have that. I want a candid.
I was guilty.
You did. You were one of the people that asked me that, right? But it's like, I'm like, I don't want that. I just want us to have a genuine conversation,
Yeah.
right? And I just want it to flow. But also on the flip side, and when me and Cam was talking earlier this week, it was like I was watching Shannon Sharp with Keith Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in watching Shannon Sharp with Keith Lee, Shannon Sharp have his like cards here that I don't know what information is on there, but I'm pretty sure it's like different questions and stuff like that, right? And I was like, you can still have a genuine conversation with questions that you want to make sure that you ask or points that you want to make sure that you hit. And so it was just like, okay, I'm gonna start doing that. And so I was like, I've never like went on social media, research my people, because I'm like, I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna find out it, right? So you were one of the first that I was like, let me go on her Instagram, let me go on her website, let me see if I can Google her name, right? And so I was looking, and it was I was on your website and stuff, and you're really dope.
Oh,
you have like some good education behind you, right? And I was like, oh, so you have like certificates and stuff like Harvard Business, right?
So Cornell University, Ivy Leagues, Cornell University, I got a certification in women's entrepreneurship. I also got a certification from Harvard Business School Online in disruptive strategy, as well as two certificates from Google in project management and digital marketing, e-commerce. Yeah,
that's good. Listen, it's crazy how it's just like I've not always, but I've said this before, like paper. How important paper is, right? Money, paper, birth certificate, social security card, degrees, certificates, like having these papers behind you is just an extra push on the name. And so it was just like, I'm not a college graduate, right? But I did go to HBCU of Laney College
Shout out
in
Laney
Oakland.
College.
I always say Laney is the HBCU of California.
Shout out Laney.
You know, but how has how has like going to school and education like have helped you? Because in this time we hear a lot of like, no, you don't got to go to school. I mean, I don't believe school is for everyone, but because a lot of people are pushing entrepreneurship so much, they're like taking away the college and that type of education and stuff. How has that like helped you in this journey?
Well, I will say college is not for everybody. And and for some, it won't make or break you, right? I know my college experience was great for networking.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of my experience and expertise came from being in the field.
Yeah.
So college gave me the textbook version of it, but it helped with my networking. And their certifications help fine tune it. So I will say, if you're whatever craft you go into, whether you go and get a certification or study yourself, you need to do some type of studying. So college is very expensive, and the formal way of education is starting to go out the window. And I know the debt, like I paid my way through college, and it was very hard working shits. 17 jobs, almost. But I will say, if you don't choose to go to college, having some type of formal education in it, go and get that certificate. Go to the University of YouTube, but you need to study, because studying and know what you're doing, it acts as a tool to help you in the field. Yeah. You can't go into anything blind. You can't say, oh, I'm going to go and, let's just say, do graphic designing and not know how to work the computer. You can have the vision. Yeah. You can be artistic, but if you don't train yourself on how to use those tools, Photoshop, Canva, whatever it is, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Right. Because I think a lot of people see that a lot of these billionaires were college dropouts or didn't go to college. And it was a different time then too, for sure. Right? And again, it's not for everybody, but you need to have some type of education.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Right? So like for me, I do a lot of like self-education and then I do
Right.
like a so in my field of like content creation and like marketing, right? I when I was in college, I was a basketball coach.
Hmm.
And I was like running after school programs. And so my thing was I went to college for kinesiology
Hmm.
because my dream was I want to be a college basketball coach.
Hmm.
And in order to be a college basketball coach, you got to have the degrees and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to school for kinesiology so I can know the movement of the body. And I don't even use none of that shit.
Right.
Right. I don't use none of it. Like
Hmm.
what I went to school for, and then, but also, I was also, even at that time, I was still going to school for entrepreneurship because my first business was an AAU basketball
Hmm.
team. So I was still like in entrepreneurship and stuff. But like when I went to school for, like, I learned the movement of the body. Has nothing to do with marketing and creating content, right? But as I was putting on events and using social media, people started asking me to be like, "Can you help me with mine?" And then at the time, I didn't even know it was a business. I was helping people for free.
Hmm.
And then once I learned that, I did a lot of like social media content as far as like courses and stuff. All right, this person is selling a course or they're telling you to read
Yes.
this book. I did a lot
Yes.
of that, right?
Yes.
And in doing that, I learned a lot and it
Yeah.
was really helpful,
Yeah.
right? It got me to where I'm at
Right.
now.
Right.
And I think I'm doing pretty well,
Yeah.
at
I
what
will
I
say
do.
so.
So it was just like education is important. It's just you got to figure out which kind for you,
Right.
right? And what's going to work for you. So I'm definitely on education. Don't necessarily have to be college, but
Right.
you have to have some
Right.
type of education. You have
Right.
to know your field,
Right.
right? You
Right.
have to I always say you have to be like the go-to person, right? Your name needs to be synonymous with what it is that you do.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
anybody's talking about content, they need to be talking about me.
Right. Right.
Or if anybody is talking about like if anybody's talking about growing their brand and need to be out and build more relationships,
Yeah.
Diamond B is the one you go to,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's your name is that. And
Right.
so when people think about it, it's like if you do credit repair or anything like that, like you got to be knowledgeable in your field and people need to
Right.
associate you with that
Right.
field
Right. And again, you have to do what works for you.
for sure.
As long as you educate yourself, it doesn't have to be a formal education like college, but you have to study.
Hmm.
Like, for instance, you see a lot of people talking about lines of credit, lines, trade lines. I see that all the time,
Hmm.
right? But they don't have no background. They just know about money. But if you don't know about financing, then you messing with somebody who gets you lines of credit, and then next thing you know, the Fed's knocking on your door, you know? So, because they didn't study, they just was like, oh, I can do that. I know about
Yeah.
money, but you need to go deep. So it doesn't matter if you're educating yourself through YouTube
Yeah.
or through courses or these webinars, which are really good because
Hmm.
I'll go on a webinar in a minute.
Yeah.
And for me, I love to learn. And if I'm going to bring great value to my clients, I need to stay on top of things because the world is changing rapidly
Yeah.
all the time.
All the time.
So what I might know yesterday will be different from what I need today, and then I'm behind
Okay.
and I'm doing a disservice to my
Yeah.
clients. So it's very important to educate yourself.
I agree. Okay. So let me ask you this. Let's say I am a tell me something, give me some advice, right? I'm here, I'm watching this, I'm hearing what you're saying, and it's really good. But I can't afford you.
Mhm.
What is some advice you can give me to help build my brand? Like I'm just trying to get outside more. I'm trying to be known a little bit more. I'm trying to get to the point to where I can hire you, right?
And we're talking about you, or we're being speaking
We're
hypothetically.
speaking
Okay.
hypothetically,
Okay.
right? We're
Mm,
speaking hypothetically. Just
okay.
an entrepreneur watching this, and they
Mhm.
just like, okay, can you give me some steps to I can help build my brand now, right? We talk about YouTube University.
Mhm.
If I go on YouTube and I type in how to build my brand or
Mhm.
anything like that,
Mhm.
right? What is some advice, something that you can give me?
Knowing what your brand is.
Ooh.
Because a lot of people don't know what their brand is, and they come to me and be like, here, make it this, but I need something to work off because we're not building my dream.
Yeah.
We're building your dream.
For sure.
So time is the most valuable thing in life and that you can't give back. So we would be wasting time and you'll be wasting money or what you don't have and wasting my time if you come to me and you don't know what your brand is. Okay. Right? But then here comes the marketing and stuff where you can work with me to figure out what your brand is, do like a whole brand up. So one, you need to start at least with some type of North Star of what it is you want to do, who you are. You need to know something. It can't be about the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you're just going after the money, it's going to always be changing. So you have to know first of all, who you are.
Let me ask this because it's your second time saying it. You said North Star. What is that?
A guide. You have to have some roadmap of what it is that you want. You have to have some type of vision.
For sure.
Right? With some type of detail in it. Like, okay, I want to be a chef. Okay, but there's different aspects of do you want to do pastries? Do you want to do, seafood? What it is that you want to do? Right. So you have to have some type of starting point. A North Star to always look up to, like what God, how they had the North Star. Yeah. It's leading them. It's a role.
Okay. I get that. I like that. I like that. Okay. I appreciate that. So a guide, a North Star, you need to know who you are, what it is that you're trying to do, where it is that you're going. Because you need to have all of this information down before you start trying to work with somebody because you need to have some type of plan before you get there. Okay. I get that. I appreciate that. I want to, as we get it into wrapping it up, you have a big event coming. Can you tell me about that?
So it's called the Power Connect Launch Experience. And what that is, it is the official launch party of Ni Ema B Consulting. So like I told you, I started my entrepreneurship journey in 2019, right? And again, it was some back and forth, me trying to find out my North Star, what it is I wanted to do. So it will be 2 years in January that I've officially been in business for myself.
Okay.
But I never had a party to like a coming out party, right?
A ribbon cutting.
Yeah. And so my sister, Simone, has always told me, Ni Ema, you need to throw an event. And I'm very private. And again, that comes from trauma, of knowing people and people taking my story and abusing it. And then, so she's been trying to get me to do it for like a year and some change. And a few months ago, I called her. I said, guess what? She said, what? I said, I'm going to have a party. She said, what? Yeah. And so I wanted to do something more because within these 20 years of me building my brand, I've developed very, very strong relationships with very, very important people. I have friends at BET. I have friends at YouTube, Netflix, a lot of friends in the entertainment industry that are bigwigs. But, it took time to build that. So I wanted to do something for our city, right? Yeah. Because Oakland has so much brilliance and talent in it. So I said, I want to also double this as a networking event, right? Sure. Because I want to open up my Rolodex of people I know, and then people want to come and bring it together. Yeah. Because it's not about making money. For me, this event is not about making money. It's about people coming to invest in themselves. Yeah. Like and connect, because you will leave the Power Connect, hence the name, launch experience with something. Right. Whether it's, and again, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to come to this event. You can be a professional. You can just be a regular person who's working your 9 to 5, which I still hardly I believe in 9 to 5s. Everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. So you might just want to build your social circle, right? Because you are the 5 people you hang around with. Yeah. So that's why I'm doing it, because I want to bring something positive to Oakland. Y'all, we getting dressed.
Getting dressed up.
We getting dressed. We are putting it on. Yeah. Okay. If you follow me on social media, I'm going to put it on. And you all, everybody know when you get dressed, you feel good. Yeah. And it makes you believe in yourself even more. But the biggest part of this is me growing up in foster care, right? It's foster care is a pipeline to prison. If I've experienced it, and you're not made to feel like you're going to be something, it's reverse. You know, you go through so much and you feel hopeless. So I will be giving back a large portion of what I make from tickets to develop an apprenticeship program for the foster youth. And I'm going to start with females, junior high school students, and I'm going to start with one girl. I'm going to pay her hourly, give her a clothing stipend, a food stipend, and then treat her to fine dining experiences. And so this is going to be once a month for 6 months. I'm going to test it out. And so I just want to put some hope into someone to show them they right now doesn't have to be their future, because you don't know who you're changing, who life you're making an impact on. So this is about to be great. And I've got some great partners who've come in, you know, sponsors to help with this. So the Power Connect launch experience is going to be so amazing.
Looking forward to it. I like that. That's really dope. I'm excited. And I told you I was out at For the Culture Taco Tuesday. And my friend was outside cooking. And a guy was like, oh, man, I got a friend who's doing this event. And he put up your flyer.
Oh, wow.
It was like, y'all, you should come to this, talking to my guy that's a chef. And he was like, you should come to this. And this was like 6 weeks ago or something like that,
Look
right?
at that.
And so I was like, I just talked to her and we was talking about the event. So
Personally invited you.
Right. And so I'm just like, so people are talking about it. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm excited about it. Can you tell okay, let me not even tell that. So as we're wrapping this up, is there anything that you would like to say to the people that's watching this episode?
Believe in yourself. You know, there are going to be people who don't understand your vision, don't understand the dreams you have, but don't let them talk you out of it. There's going to be bumps in the road. Entrepreneurship is not easy and it's not pretty. People think that overnight is going to happen. You're going to have days to where you feel like your idea is stupid, that you don't want to do it. You're going to go broke. I've gone broke several times. Y'all, like I've put so much money into this event. Honestly, my last, because I know the outcome of this, and I believe in my city. I believe in Oakland. I believe in the Bay, and I want you guys to be able to experience, you know, the beautiful things that I've gotten out of entrepreneurship. So don't give up. Don't expect instant results, and invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself.
Yeah,
that's big. All right. How can people find you?
You guys can find me on my social medias, which is at Ni Ema B Consulting. That is N as in Nancy, I, E as in Emma, M as in Mary, A as in Apple, B Consulting. That is my Instagram. That is my TikTok, and that is my Twitter, formerly known as X. And you can also find me at www.niemabaptista.com.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a guest. This was a great conversation. I really appreciate you for giving me your time. So again, thank you for watching the Entrepreneur Experience. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Get your ass on Instagram. Make sure you're following Ni Ema B. She is such a dope person to have, right, as we're talking about networking and building the brand. She's somebody you need to connect with. You watching this because you're an entrepreneur, more than likely, you need a publicist. You need to get outside, and she's going to help you build the brand and get outside. Because I should have been at the Ebony, gala.
I walk the red carpets.
I need to be on the red carpets with you. So we need to talk. I need a little publicist, build the brand a little more. But all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.